Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Yappers Club. Good morning, bitches. I haven't pulled an all-nighter in such a long time. I want to talk to you guys about something, and I don't know if this episode is going to make a lot of sense, but let me talk about it. Let me cook. I had some sort of, not even, I wouldn't call it an epiphany, because I don't even know what that word means, so I'm not going to use it. No, Snosteam. I spent a lot of time going through old photos and videos in my Google Photos. And I went through all of my photos and videos from 2023. It felt like I was looking at a broken mirror, if that makes sense. Like I felt like I know him, but at the same time, I'm like, girl, the bitch is struggling. Because every photo I saw, every video I saw, I was like, does no one know what she's going through? И просто реших умствено да влеза в майндсета на Митко 2023. And it was crazy for me because I couldn't, right? It's 2026 now. It's been 3 years, right? And it was insane to me that I spent so much of my time back then faking a lot of my emotions. And after I did that, I decided to journal. And I did write almost 10 pages of my journal, which I've never done in my life before. You know, I usually write about 3 to 4 pages, maybe sometimes more, but never 10. It's never gotten to that point. What I realized about myself back in 2023, I spent so much of my time faking how I truly felt about things and about experiences. And I think I masked all of my emotions by being in love and by just having fun and making jokes, right? And making people laugh and just having fun with my friends, which I'm not saying that I wasn't in love and that I wasn't having fun with my friends, because I was, but at the same time, I felt like I had to keep that image up because I was afraid of feeling judged by my friends, by the people who were close to me at the time. And that was insane to me to realize that right now I feel judged by everyone around me. And I'm going to elaborate on it. Ever since this month has started, I have felt this inner fear that I am being judged by everyone around me. Back in 2023, I did not have that fear. Or rather, I did not want to acknowledge that fear just because I was afraid to acknowledge it, just because, judgment is so scary and it's so real. And it kind of fucks with your brain a lot when you feel you're being judged by everyone around you, even if you're not, right? And I think I spent so much of that time masking everything just by being who I was and not caring. And I think also I had built this fake confidence about me. And that confidence was so unbreakable that I thought and I believed that it was real, right? And it wasn't. Now I'm more confident than I have ever been in my life, right? And I was like, okay, maybe it's just nostalgia. But again, if it was nostalgia, I would know what that feels like, because me and nostalgia, we go way back, right? So I'm just gonna read you my journal entry, not the whole thing, just a couple parts from my journal entry today to make you fully understand what I'm trying to say, because I do sound like a mental institution patient that's going insane and in psychosis, and it's in a straitjacket. Nostalgia will hit at the randomest of times, especially when I'm alone and I've got nothing better to do. I miss people and versions of myself that I will never get back. I know that. I'm not planning on going back, but sometimes, just for a moment, I wish I could be there, even as a spectator. I wish I could have been more open with myself about the things I actually felt. Maybe that's why now I feel as though I should be more closed off and cold so I can protect the version I couldn't in the past. Coldness is a feeling that I rarely feel. And it's a very peculiar feeling. You feel as though you need to step back from everyone and say, get the fuck out. This is my shield. Don't touch me. Stay away from me, because if you get close or if you are in my vicinity, you're gonna judge me. And I know you're gonna judge me. So why the fuck are you close to me? In the past, I was so oblivious to that whole thing that was happening just because I didn't know it was happening. I didn't feel like I needed to be cold. I couldn't even protect myself. I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know that I maybe should be protecting myself more. And maybe that I should be more open about the things I was feeling. And maybe I should have been more grateful about the things that I was going through, even the bad things. Because even when I was going through something bad, I couldn't even protect myself there because I felt like, why should I do that when it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, I'm in a relationship, I love all my friends, like, this is amazing, I look great. I did not look great, actually. So why should I protect myself? Мисля, няма нещо, от което да трябва да се пази в момента, so why should I do that? And the thing is, I think maybe I should have done that at the time, but I didn't have the tools, and I didn't have the mindset of, oh, maybe I should create some boundaries, or maybe I should, be more open about how I'm actually feeling inside so I can better protect myself from feeling the way I felt. Because for a long time, I think I felt sad and melancholic, and I didn't know why, and I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know how to protect myself. I didn't know how to balance my emotions. I didn't know anything because it didn't matter. I didn't think about it at all. Like, it passed through my mind. I would cry all night. I would cry all day. And then the second someone was around me, I was like, oh my God, I feel nothing. Oh my God, I'm the happiest person ever. And that was not the case. And now, if someone asks me, like, what's your worst year? I'm always going to say 2023. Just because maybe at the time you couldn't even tell that I was depressed or that I was going through what I was going through. But now that I'm seeing it from a third person view, I was losing my mind. I was so sad and I was so miserable with myself and with the things I felt. И това е, че аз дори не можех да се защитя от самия себе си. И смятах, че щом не мога да се защитя, няма нужда да се защитавам. And I think I carried that for such a long time, but now that I have the knowledge and understanding that I didn't have in the past, now that I have that ability to protect myself when maybe in the past I couldn't. And I think that's why I feel so cold. I feel like I should be cold to everyone around me just because if I'm not, then how am I going to protect myself? And some might say, why are you protecting yourself? There's nothing you should be protecting yourself from. And maybe that's the case. Защото аз съм в периода в живота си, в който реалистично, ако се замисля и ако някой гледа отстрани, нямам от какво толкова много да се пазя или от какво толкова да се притеснявам, че се случи, because I'm doing fine. Everything is going great so far. So why am I so adamant on building these walls around me and becoming this cold version of myself just because something might happen? Someone might attack me, someone might hurt me, or someone might do something, or I might do something. And I was thinking about that on a deeper level, and I was like, okay, maybe I am trying to protect the version of myself that I couldn't. And maybe now I have the power to do that. And the thing is, if someone asks me, how do you feel about past versions of yourself? Especially my 2023 version. I'm always saying stuff like, I have so much grace for myself. I have so much love for that version of me. But that's not the case. I'm not saying that I don't have grace and love for that version, because I do. That was me, right? But also, I don't, because I didn't have the power to protect myself. And I didn't want to protect myself because I didn't feel like I needed to. And I think 2023 was the moment in my life where I should have protected myself the most, and I didn't. Now I feel like I should protect myself because I feel this subconscious fear building up every day of my life for no reason. Fear of the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of perception, fear of everything. And I don't think I was capable enough to understand that in that moment of my life. And now that I do, I'm like, okay, now I get it, and now I'm gonna do it. And it's like, am I supposed to be doing this now? Isn't it too late for me to be doing this now? But then again, no, because if I feel like I should protect myself, I should, right? Like I'm going with my gut instinct. But at the same time, I want to believe that I'm capable of warmth, right? Because I'm not a cold person, right? I've never been a cold person. I've never believed myself to be a cold person. Now I feel like I'm becoming more and more cold and more distanced from everything and everyone in my life. And I'm not just talking about like not talking to people. I'm just talking about on a mental level. I would just rather be in a freezer, right? In the corner, in the dark, in my apartment, and just keep that coldness and keep that guard up because he couldn't fucking do it. So I have to do that for him. And in a way, subconsciously, I feel like I'm trying to protect that version of myself. But again, the more I think about it, it's like, it's too late. What is done is done. You know, you could have protected yourself, but you didn't. You didn't know how to. You didn't think you needed to do that. But now I think I need to. And a lot of people would ask why. And to answer your question, I don't know. And that is very terrifying for me to not know why am I doing this to myself? Why am I so cold all of a sudden? Why am I turning into such a cold and closed off version of myself just because I feel like I need to do that? Just because I'm scared of anything and everything and everyone and whatever happens. Защото реално всички хора се страхуваме от това да не бъдем съдени, да не бъдем отхвърляни или каквото и да е. Всички имаме такива подсъзнателни страхове. That's the normal human experience, right? But also another thing is that when nostalgia comes into play, I'm like, okay, so do I want to go back there and build that wall? Or do I want to stay here and build that wall now that I can? I read you another part of my journal because I can't really describe to you how exactly I feel, so I will go back to the journal. Why do I care so much about it now than I did back then? Was it because I wasn't allowing myself to see it, or did it just not exist, aka the fear that we're talking about? Did that fear simply not exist? Or was I pretending not to see it just because I didn't think I needed to at the time? And maybe I'm coping now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I also wouldn't say that's a good thing, because if you're coping now because of things that you couldn't cope in the past, it's like a little weird, because why are you coping now? I had this unstoppable fake confidence that made me break down walls and build myself. What went wrong then? Was it everything around me, or was I the only culprit? I had lost that spark, but I pretended I still had it because I thought that's what people expected of me. I'm still terrified of that disappointment. Now I move with that fear, accepting it for what it is: fear. I was scared to be seen, even by me. That's why I kept hiding behind anything and anyone I could find, just so I cannot acknowledge it. Doing that for so long turned my whole worldview upside down. Now it feels like I'm doing it again, but knowingly. And I allow myself to feel that fear I worked so hard to avoid. But how do you balance feelings you've avoided for so long? Feelings that have never existed, or you pretended that they didn't. Защото имам чувството, че тези чувства и са били винаги там, и за пръв път ги усещаме, if that makes sense. I don't know if this podcast episode is making sense, because I was really scratching my brain as to what I wanted to talk about, and the only feeling that has persisted throughout this whole month has been coldness and judgment. And I don't even know what judgment means. Защото всички се съдим. But you would think that when you have close friends and family, or, you know, you're in a relationship, you would think that those people would never judge you. And that's how it should be. They're never supposed to judge you because, you know, those are the people that you love the most, right? And that you trust the most. But in my case, напоследък имам чувство, че no matter who it is, I'm always getting judged. No matter what. Имам чувство, че напоследък даже всички около мен, малко или много, каквото и да кажа и каквото и да направя, всички свързват мен с миналата ми версия. And it's like, yeah, you used to do that. And now that you're doing it again, you're going to do the same shit again. And we're not going to like that. And you're going to get judged. And you're going to get scrutinized for it. Because I was getting scrutinized for it. Not necessarily in a mean, in a hurtful way, but just in a caring and like, I want you to get better. I want you to feel okay. So please don't do this, this, and this, and this. I'm here for you, but just please don't do this. Им чувствам, че ако направя нещо сходно на нещата, които съм правил преди, ще получа същото отношение, което съм получавал преди. And I know that doesn't make sense. And I know it's confusing. And I know I'm a freak for it. But I don't know, man. Lately, it just feels like everything and everyone is against me, even though they're not. And even though I have nothing to be scared of. I have nothing to be building walls for. I don't need to be overly protecting myself from things that are not coming or don't exist. So why am I doing it now? Why am I so cold and so distanced? Just because I feel like I'm gonna get judged for it. If I say like, I did this and this and this and this, and they're gonna be like, oh, you did that in the past, so if you do that again, we're gonna judge you. And you can't do that because A, B, and C, and D. И затова забелязвам напоследък как не искам да споделям за нещата, които правя, нещата, които реално чувствам, просто защото имам чувството, че I'm gonna get a gun to my head, right? I feel like the troops are outside, already. Even though they're not. And even though all of my closest friends and family are there for me. And they will never judge me for the things I do. Well, some of them. Because some of my friends or some of the people I know are 1,000% gonna judge me for the things I say or do now like I did in the past. And that's why I feel like I'm turning colder and colder by every day. And when it comes to relationships or meeting new people, I'm even more closed off. I'm even more like, get the fuck off of me, bro. Get the fuck off of me. Митко 2023 не може да се справя с абсолютно нищо. Okay? He couldn't do shit. He couldn't save his life even if he wanted to. And the thing is, he didn't because he didn't feel like he needed to save his life. And it's crazy to me that I'm back in that fear mindset that I was avoiding for so long in the past. Just because I don't fucking know why. I wish I fucking knew why. It is so confusing. I'm not saying that coldness is necessarily a bad feeling, because I don't see that as a bad feeling. I see that as a way of protecting myself and who I am and my emotions, right? But again, колко време можеш да прекараш в това да се пазиш и да се защитаваш и да градиш тези стени около себе си, докато един момент просто не останеш сам в тази крепост. And I don't want that. Nobody wants that. And it's also so crazy to me that I'm learning so many things from a version of myself that I don't align with anymore. Like, I'm not the same person I was. I would never be that person again. Because that's me, but also, girl, I don't know her. I don't know her. And it's very hard for me to feel love for someone who couldn't protect himself. Right? And now I feel like I have to do that because he couldn't. And I'm like, okay, I'm older now. I know better than him. So let me just do that for the sake of both of us, right? So we can be both okay, right? But that doesn't make sense because he's in the past, girl. He's not here right now. He's not in the room with us. He's not okay, but he's in the past. He didn't know he wasn't okay. He thought he was, but he wasn't. And he thought, oh, if I just keep going and going and going and being all smiley and happy and, butterflies and sunshine and rainbows, it's gonna be fine. And I feel like I put up with so much shit in 2023 that I carried that trauma and those negative feelings here in 2026. И по принцип това е супер нормално нещо да си носиш травмата със себе си, but you would think after, 2 or 3 years you'll be fine, right? But then again, it's like something new always pops up, right? И си замислих как напоследък, ако говорим за връзки и за отношения, говорим романтични, аз съм супер дръпнат от тия неща. В смисъл не съм, но съм, if that makes sense. Like I want it, but then again I'm like, oh, like I would rather keep my walls and push you out of my castle before you truly enter it. Because I had so many people in my palace in the past, and I pretended I was fine with that, when in reality I was not. And I didn't know I wasn't until fucking now, dude. И ми е супер surreal това цялото нещо. Че чак сега може би осъзнавам някакви такива неща за стари версии на себе си. Because that motherfucker thought that no matter what happens, he has to keep it up. He has to keep that image up of like, oh my god, it's fine. Like, I cried about it. I had a mental breakdown, but I'm fine now. Like, I let it out and I'm good. I didn't journal. I talked about my feelings, but I didn't really talk about my feelings. Като се замисли, не съм споделял толкова много с приятелите си. Or if I did, I didn't say what I actually felt. I think I just said what I thought they wanted me to say. Защото според мен, когато се чувстваш зле и твоите приятели разберат, че се чувстваш зле, те вече имат някакви предположения за това защо се чувстваш зле. Because they know you, right? They're your friends. And when someone was going through something, you would automatically assume the reason why. You know? И имах чувството, че аз просто им давах тези причини просто за да мога аз да се отърва от това and just like run away from it and be like, here, damn, like, ето за това се чувствам зле. Like, вие знаете защо се чувствам зле? Ето за това се чувствам зле, за да мога да им validate по някакъв начин техните мисли за това, аз как се чувствам, and be like, okay, whatever, like, I'm better now. Thank you guys so much for helping me. But in reality, no one fucking helped me because I wasn't even allowing myself to help myself. I wasn't even protecting myself. So how the fuck would someone else protect me? You know what I mean? And it's so crazy. And it's so crazy that now I'm overly protecting myself, right? И дори ако говоря за чувствата си, ще е някакво пак по някакъв супер scripted and weird way и ще се чудиш през цялото време, добре, мам, за какво говорим в момента? В смисъл, ти защо се чувстваш така? И повечето пъти, ако споделя на някой мой приятел как се чувствам, те са някакво, girl, I don't know why. Girl, I don't know what to tell you. And it's like, yeah, because I'm not telling you. I'm telling you how I feel just because you want me to tell you. And you have that need to hear me out, right? And that's amazing, and I love that. But for me, I feel like I just need to get it out and, you know, close the fucking door, lock it, and move on. And like, let's not talk about that again. And another thing is, имам чувство, че напоследък си навам доста емоциите when it comes to how I actually feel and how I actually see things и как разсъждавам върху нещата и изобщо дали мога да разсъждавам. Защото имам чувство, че изгубям начина си на разсъждаване понякога. Даже напоследък имам чувство, че не мога да разсъждавам върху абсолютно нищо. Just because I feel like I don't need to. And subconsciously I'm like, I know everything right now. So why do I need to, you know, talk about it? Защо трябва да разтягам укуми? Защо трябва да записвам епизоди? Защо трябва да говоря? When in my brain I already know. But clearly I fucking don't, right? Clearly I'm fucking losing it. So I don't even know what this episode is. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel. И дори аз не знам дали трябва да продължавам да създавам тия бариери покрай себе си и да продължавам да съм толкова студен и толкова отдръпнат. Или просто натурално това ще спре with time. But at the same time, защото реално, като се замислиш, може и да е просто фаза. Hey, it could be just a little nostalgic, melancholic, cold phase that I'm going through. But again, I doubt it's that simple just because, in my opinion, in my brain, it is never that fucking simple. It has always been so complicated. And I don't even know what to say about it because I'm like so guarded and so protected right now by me that I don't even know if there's even a point in talking about it. И затова не мислих изобщо да записвам някакъв епизод и да говоря за това нещо, защото се съмнявам, че хората минават през някакви такива странни фази на животите си. But I'm sure there's people with similar situations where you feel like you're feeling something that maybe you shouldn't be feeling, or maybe that feeling that you have at that current moment maybe doesn't exist. You know? But every feeling that you have is valid, right? Every emotion that you feel is valid. So why am I acting like it's not? Why am I pretending that maybe it's just a phase? Maybe I'm just acting like it just because, I don't know. Maybe just because. Може би по някакъв начин се преструвам, че че го няма това нещо, или че по някакъв начин бягам от нещо, което не е реално. Бягам от страх, който аз сам съм създал. Мисля, че това е нещото, до което стигам в момента. Имам чувство, че напоследък бягам от неща, които може би не са истински. Имам някакви страхове, които може би не са истински. Отново. Може би са неща, които мисля, че са истински. И смятам, че са истински. И мисля, че ще станат истински, но реално са истински. If that makes sense. I don't know, bro. This month has been very weird for me. But I feel like August has always been weird for me. August has always had that weird energy. You know, because July was great, right? June, I don't remember her. And August, when August rolls around and it's like the end of August, I'm like, what is there to think about? What is there to reminisce? Where is that nostalgia? Това е, че август винаги носи носталгия със себе си. Края на лятото е. So, няма как август да не ми донесе, особено на мен, някакъв вид носталгия. Било то за минали връзки, минали приятелства, минали емоции. Ери си на мен, които може би не обичам. And I've always tried my best to, love my past versions. And give those versions grace and love and, give them their time to like exist and like reminisce and like be there and exist with me. But also, maybe I don't love them as much as I claim I do. Again, another thing. Maybe I don't love my 2023 version as much as I thought I did. Maybe I'm just, again, pretending I do just because that's what you're supposed to do, right? But then again, when it comes down to my subconsciousness, I feel like I need to really learn how to love that specific version of myself, because защото им чувство, че точно от тази версия съм научил най-много неща и за това какво искам да направя и кой искам да бъда. But again, I don't know if any of this makes sense to you. I don't know if anyone in this whole entire world would get what I'm saying. And I don't even know if I want to post this video. I don't even know if I want to talk about anything related to how I feel. Because it's been a whirlwind of emotions. And some might say you have too much free time, which I agree. I do have free time. And maybe that's also a bad thing. But I try my best to create a routine long enough for me to not focus on things that maybe I shouldn't be focusing on, or maybe things that don't exist, right? So let me know if this episode made sense to you. And let me know if you've also struggled with something similar. Or maybe you've struggled with versions of yourself that maybe you're not ready to accept, or maybe you're not ready to dive deep into. Защото след като 2023 приключи, аз никой не съм се връщал назад. Защото тази година беше една от най-странните ми, една от най-шокиращите ми, and not in a bad way, just in a way. So many things happened in 2023, and I was crying about it while journaling, because I was like, it is insane, like how much I've changed and how much that version of me has made me realize so many things about who I am now, and also what went wrong. And I've always wanted to know what went wrong and why did I not protect myself like I should have, you know? Because no one can protect you as much as you can protect yourself. But sometimes you feel like you don't need to protect yourself. Maybe you just need to, you know, go on about your life and see what happens next. And I think that's what I did. Нали, имах си моите mental breakdowns, имах си моите crash out moments, карах се с хора, карах се с близки. But again, I think I was just pretending to feel all those things, when in reality, the main feeling I had in my bones was fear. Fear of everything. And I think that fear that I tried so hard to run away from manifested into who I am now. And that's why I feel like I'm building so many walls around me and I'm becoming colder and more distanced from everyone, just because, hey, I mean, I couldn't do it in the past, so might as well do it now, you know? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you can get something out of it. And give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Eat good food. Drink water. Tell everyone in your life that you love them and that you care about them. Take care of yourself, okay? And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye, bitches.